Hello everybody. So it is time for the February and March recap for 2025. Now unfortunately this month, or these months, I have not been able to play as much as I wanted. We've been mostly hanging out with my friends in my free time, but haven't had all that much free time because there's been a lot of stuff going on in my real life. Mostly, I've been busy with schoolwork, which has been advancing far better than I expected. I've been trying to find a good work rhythm. In addition, I've been streaming very surprisingly regularly, like almost every other week, and that is a very good rhythm, I find, and I'm gonna try to keep that. Well, to be frank, this video is just gonna be like the collage of the stream kind of review things, kind of those little quick thoughts that I had during these 2 months from those streams for all the games. And yeah, they'll be in order that I played them, and yeah, check the timestamps. That will explain or that way you can find whatever you want to listen to, if there's anything in particular. Anyway, yeah, that's been just busy. Probably gonna get back to work, so at least I've gotten stuff done, and that's good. Yeah, let's get on with the games. A conclusion is in order. This was quite the game to have for the first one. I really like Metroidvanias, huge fan of them, very very huge fan. And I really do like occult stuff, and especially like Lovecraftian stuff. And this hits all of the right boxes so well. It's very, very intriguing. It has a very unique visual style, but it also uses the like trappings of what commonly is associated with Lovecraft lore and Lovecraftian horror really, really well to make an intriguing case. And especially delving into that memory scene was very, very interesting because the landscape was so alien and bizarre and just very, very cool and very dreamlike, and it is so cool. I really do like it. It's very, very intriguing. I really did enjoy that so much. Like the only thing that kinda is but annoying, like not annoying, but like, but you know what I mean, like. The thing that I do somewhat regret is that I have to stop here, because it was really starting to draw me in so much. It's very, very tempting. It's very cool. Damn, I really liked it so much. That is a shame. I'm gonna be doing that, like, definitely like gonna be in the very highly intrigued game. Damn it! That was really fun. Really intriguing. It had also really good pacing, and the boss battle was actually actually a bit too easy, honestly. I do have to check. I might actually just switch. I wonder, because there was a puzzle switch and there was a exploration like dial there. I wonder how exactly difficult those will be with proper, like, putting them on harder. And how exactly it changes level design, because that's gonna be like such a cool thing to see as a because that's gonna be like the field I'm studying right now. So that will be interesting to see, maybe at some point. But damn, that is so cool. That was such a cool game. I really, really liked it. So good, so good. I got you. So. Dadish 3D. I don't know what else to say. It's quite literally what you'd expect from the visuals. It's a simple 3D platformer. Some silly puns. Some fun little interactions. Kinda cute level design. Some nice little details. Music's very nice. Chill. Functional. The sound design is like very, very nice. I have. It doesn't feel it doesn't feel like anything extraordinary, but it has a very high level of competence. Like, I talked about it during the gameplay quite a bit, but there's a weird little turning speed there that you cannot make sharp 90-degree turns, which isn't unique to that game. It happens in a lot of games, but it is a thing that I don't usually encounter in 3D games. And it's a thing that you just have to keep in mind, kinda. Like, you get used to it very easily, and it doesn't exactly cause any deaths, so it's fine. It's a feature. It's chill. It's nice. It's a very solid platformer. Like, there's really nothing bad to say about it. It's just very nice. I quite enjoyed it. What to say about that? So, Grotto. A fascinating game. Very fascinating. Just doing, like, guiding a tribe by reading the stars, although reading the stars in quotation marks and rolling stones and doing, like, occult stuff. Very interesting. Except you have a lot of choice there. I'm really interested to go through that game, like, again, after playing through it once. It's very, very cool. I really like that. Especially the visual style was something that really stuck out to me. But I did also very much enjoy, like, practically everything. It's so unique, it's so weird, it's so strange, it's so cool. The visual style is very, very strong and compelling there. And the idea of, like, it's a very pure distillation of game in a simplistic sense, except I don't think it has, like, any kind of lost condition there. But you have choices that affect how the, like, it's an interactive story, basically, just in the most simplest of terms. Basically that. And it's so compelling. That was very cool. I very much enjoyed it. Especially the visuals are, of course, the very, very strong visual point there. But the story and the way that it's told and that you interact with it and it unfurls, like, partially and with very unreliable narrators. It's, and from multiple aspects and from outsiders and inside, like, it is very, very cool. I really liked it quite a bit. So yeah, I'm really excited to play that, like, at some point completely. So very much enjoyed it. Which is this? So, Touhou, Artificial Dream in Arcadia. I'm gathering my thoughts for a second to sound as unbiased as possible. So first of all, the game plays very much as Shin Megami Tensei series just in general plays, it is very much like, and I do mean Shin Megami Tensei, not Persona. So it feels very much like a dungeon crawler in the best possible ways. It has a lot of the similar elements that it's a grid-based dungeon, which is a bit more of the older style, not the current Shin Megami Tensei series. Like, there's SMT actually has a lot more, like, it's not grid-based anymore, and that's fine. This, like, grid-based system is more of an older style dungeon crawler, which I personally enjoy a lot, and I am very much fine with, like, that kind of dungeon crawler. I really do enjoy it. Now, I am very biased for, like, I really love Touhou, like, a lot, just, like, crap ton, and that has been always, like, very obvious, and I never tried to hide. Even my background, like the desktop background, is actually, like, Touhou pictures, just, like, on loop. So yeah, it has a lot of, like, fun elements combining both the aesthetics of Touhou and Shin Megami Tensei, and just, like, in general, like, dungeon crawlers quite a bit. Now it hasn't yet shown any kind of the fun puzzle elements or more interactive elements from, like, the dungeon design, but I only played an hour, so that's not understandable that there isn't much. It has the similar mechanics from Shin Megami Tensei for, like, the Demon Compendium. Like, you can fuse them, you can take the attributes, you can combine them, you can sacrifice them to boost another of they're called sleepers in this one, so they are not demons. technically yokai, but you know. So it has like the best parts of SMT, and I that's a series near and dear to my heart. Thanks to my friends. So a certain specific friend. So I I really like it a lot. I am a huge fan of that kind of dungeon crawling. It has a good style of that mechanical control that you do have, like that you can like have. Of course, it's like very functional in the dungeon traversal aspects, and it has a lot of different aspects of the overworld that you have to travel through little dungeons that you do teleport into another part of the map. The story is, of course, kind of an interesting thing because it's a unique kind of flesh bending of that, and haven't experienced much yet in 1 hour, obviously. But so far, what I've seen, I really, really enjoyed it. And of course, I just really do like seeing Touhou characters interact with one another. So that is always something that I quite enjoy. And it has a lot of references, and it seemed to have like almost 200 characters, and that's really fun. One really fun aspect is that when you have to capture them, which is kind of like the negotiation, this was really fun that you could have actually like implemented a bit more of a difficulty curve on there, that you can affect different aspects of the difficulty. Like you could make it a bit harder, you can make the negotiations a bit more difficult. It's beautiful. It is so wonderfully like dynamic that you can like alter the difficulty to your liking in certain aspects. I don't know how many of those, like whether the grimoires that affect the difficulty. There definitely seem to be that you can get more of them, which that's very good. Allows for a lot more replayability and a lot more granularity to the difficulty that you can affect on your own, and you can choose which aspects you would like to like make more difficult. So the negotiation aspect, which is basically like capturing, like you can wound them and it will become easier, and that's a bullet hell aspect, which is I am really bad at Touhou. Like I love it, but I'm really bad at it. I'm bad at bullet hell games just in general, but I like them a lot. And the capture sections are just bullet hells, and that is so fun that it's a really nice combination of the aspects of SMT and Touhou, and it's just like a wonderful little blend. The visual style, I am a huge sucker for pixel art, and it is so it looks so good. I really like it. I like the visual style a lot because it's just Touhou characters in pixel art, and that is something that I adore a lot. And the music, it is more like remixes of Touhou songs, but they feel very original as well. But they do like have similar themes and motives from the Touhou songs themselves, and that's like it feels like it pays a loving homage with its own unique blend to it. It's fairly obvious. I really like the game so far. Even though it was just an hour, this is one of the awful aspects of this kind of game roulette thing, that you have only 1 hour to play, because I can see myself just like playing this for the next 10 hours in one sitting, because it was so much fun. So yeah, Touhou, Artificial Dream in Arcadia, loved it. Very high recommendation. I really enjoyed it a lot. It's very fun. So, Dream Swing. The creator had made previously a 2D grappling hook momentum-based speedrunning game, and this very much is just there, like in their foray or the pre-word. They said that this is their passion project for this. Like they wanted to check out how it works in 3D, and I think it worked out fantastically. And they said they had taken a lot of inspiration from TF2 and Quake, and in my opinion, that came through excellently well. I am not a huge Quake fan, or I am a fan, but I haven't played that much because I don't like FPS games that much. But I still enjoy them, and especially visually and like movement-wise, they are so fantastic and interesting, and I really do like that. And it, in my mind, for what I remember of the games and how it came through, it feels like it is very well communicated there, that it is definitely made with passion towards that kind of genre. It's a very, very niche genre, but it feels very, very good in my eyes, and I like how it felt there. I really, really enjoyed it, and it is something that I'm gonna keep installed. That is a game that I'm gonna like start like a lot of my days. That's gonna be such a fun time killer for the Zen mode, that you can just like swing around and collect the orbs and just customize it to be more like different. And there's so much that you can just like it is both very simple but like fine tuned to perfection. The movement felt, it's at the same very intuitive, and it feels very good and fluid. And now it's a bit strange that you can like immediately like change your direction like in mid-air like 90 degrees completely without a meaningful loss in momentum. But it felt good, and that's the most important thing. That game just felt so freaking good. I don't know what else to say. It just feels good to play it. Now, that Zen mode is going to be like such a good way for me to just like relax and take my mind off of things and just like let it, just. How do I convey how it feels? I don't know. I hope that game is like. How expensive is that game? That. €3? What the heck? That's so cheap! Great minigame for relaxing while chatting, listening to podcast video, or waiting for the matchmaking queue of another game. What an excellent explanation for the game. And it is going to be my go-to option for that, because it feels so good for that. It's glorious. That is fantastic. So good. I have nothing else to say. It is fine-tuned to perfection in the area that it needs to be in, and it feels very good for that, and it's... yeah. Absolute cinema. I love it. Nauticrawl. An underwater exploration experience with like a very highly technical amount of controls that you have there. It requires like a interaction with that like mainframe kind of thing, and having a less than clear line how you actually interact with different things, and it gives you like different kind of scans there. It's a bit more of a... that's a very interesting experimental way to like have a game there, like an exploration game where you are working with a lot of lacking information, and you have to manage a lot of resources, like a huge survival aspect in there as well, and a lot of exploration there. Now that's gonna be an interesting game to actually like go on through on my own time when I have more time to like actually invest in just getting used to the controls and figuring out what exactly I need to do in there. So far, it was very cool. I quite enjoyed it. That's about it. I quite enjoyed it. It's very cool. It's interesting. It's very unique. That's for sure. It's very unique. Uses a very kind of an interesting control scheme, where while you are controlling that nautiloid or that crawling machine with basically WASD, you still have to control with the with mouse. You have to control like your view there and control the panels, like what is on, switched on, and how much energy or how much fuel is being outputted, and like what kind of the cloaking system and what subsystems are turned on. So it has a lot of like very cool granular elements of control there, and a very huge like immersion factor there, because yeah, you have to use like 3 kinds of controls there. And of course with arrow keys you will have to control the panel there, like the computer panel that you actually use to basically interact with almost everything. Although you can use your mouse with that as well, as I found out there. It's interesting, it's pretty unique. It has a very like strange atmosphere to it, and the mystery is pretty strong. Like there's very huge mystery aspect, like what the hell is going on, and that's very tempting. It's gonna be fun to just go through that game and see what exactly is in there. It's pretty freaking difficult though, but I did like it quite a bit. So that's very cool. So, White Lavender, while I really do enjoy the game, it has a really... I'm gonna go on a lot of positives. I first want to say that it has some very annoying UI issues, and it's like it could use a lot of polish on the control aspect. It has a lot of clunkiness in the UI, the navigation, and there's a lot of minor things. Like, for example, in the menu, that it doesn't show you what you have in that slot, and you have to rather open up that menu. So this, and then you cannot actually like loop through the menu. That's minor things, but those minor things do build up. However, the good aspects of the game are quite a bit more like meaningful, and those are that the game is, of course, an action. It's basically Dark Souls, so that's... I'm just gonna shortcut it to that. Really huge positives. The visual style is very striking and unique, and they use it effectively for the weaponization and the enemy creation and the environments and just stylizing basically everything. And that does carry through a lot. It gives like a lot of the like unique vibes to the game, and it makes it feel and stand out very well from the crowd. The controls are very tight. However, the recovery frames and the animations are not exactly detailed enough to convey completely when animation wind up has completely passed. Like, for example, I like that the enemies did have a pop-up when they were like attacking and when they were aggroing and all that fun stuff. So that's like, the details are good there. But for example, with the larger spear-like weapon that I used, like a huge branch, it does have a huge cooldown period during which you cannot actually buffer or input anything. It's good that it doesn't buffer your commands, because that could get very annoying and very, very easily lead to mistakes. But it is unclear at what point the cooldown is over so you can dodge. And that is very, very bad. That makes it so that it's very unwieldy. So the game does also have like some magic there. I only discovered that one spell, and that's fine. I want to see what that is like. There's also a very fun amount of lenience in the game for like that makes it less bothersome, I guess, or rather some aspects that make it more feasible from Souls games. And for example, the magic mana regenerates slowly, but it does regenerate, so that's a thing. Nothing unique there, but that's makes it a bit more usable and splashable into your combos like that. And you can just run without spending stamina, which of course is also very nice because it's used in combat for maneuvering, because the spacing is very important. And speaking of spacing, that is yet another aspect which I do like, but I also dislike, and that is that the attack range is not conveyed properly. I feel like the camera could be a little bit zoomed out. The claustrophobic feel makes you feel that the bugs are a little bit bigger than they like actually are on the map, and it makes it all feel very distorted, which I feel like is the stylized choice that they made, like purposefully made there. But it does have downsides quite reasonably there. The fact that you cannot completely, at least easily, not gauge your distance to the enemies and how far your weapon reaches and how far their weapon reaches, I needed to get used to a lot of like estimating it with just, well, trial and error basically. And while the game doesn't have the punishing feature from Dark Souls that you lose your currency, it still doesn't exactly mitigate the fact that if you cannot gauge your distance, you're very properly screwed, and that is no bueno. I didn't like that. I wanted to be able to gauge my distance more accurately. It just felt like I was always, if I mistimed my dodge, or if I moved out of their way, or if I just tried to space myself, but just slightly wrong, because it felt like I was hit by nothing, and I don't know. Also, the fact that the hitboxes, it felt like the hitboxes spawn completely all the way around where the attack is supposed to be immediately, so that it doesn't track the weapon, but rather when the attack is initiated, it all just immediately spawns in place, which is a choice, I suppose. I don't think it's neither necessarily good nor bad, but it does, with the proper like gauging of distance, it makes it feel somewhat abstract when you're getting hit, and it's harder to gauge when you're safe. And that is, I don't know. I feel like that could be better if there's like a lot of little things that I wish were cleaned up a little. Regardless, it was a fun game. I did enjoy it quite a bit, but it has like some small annoying issues there. I do kind of look forward to completing this game later, but just somewhat, because the game is like the actual combat itself. When you get into the swing of it, when you learn your enemy's patterns and you catch your own patterns, when you know when you're supposed to attack and at what distance you can reach the enemy, marvelous. That aspect, dueling, is always really fun in the Souls-like games. And while the enemies were bigger and deadlier and more powerful and more durable and more stronger in the fact that they stunned you when you blocked them, I still enjoyed it quite a bit. It's just, it has that same feeling that Souls-like games have, and it has it in spades. It's done very properly to have it like conveyed properly, even with a bit of a unique aspect to the aesthetics. But yes, that was White Lavender. I enjoyed it immensely, at least for the time being. I wish there was a map, but that's also minor nitpick, because the levels didn't feel that convoluted. So, Ultra Hard Dimension, it's simply put a puzzle game. Some weird interactions there. I'm kind of interested to see how that develops further and makes the puzzles a bit more complicated. So far, it's very simple, without any, like, actually huge other things, other than that it's cute. There's no real big selling point there. It is very cute. The sound effects are made by a human, so voices made by, or sound effects made by human voice, which is very cute. That makes it very adorable. I'm definitely gonna just 100% that game because it's fun. I don't know when though. It's like, I didn't yet see any huge appeal to it, but I wonder if there's gonna be like some weird secrets or some other things that you could miss quite easily. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, I will have to call it quits here, because my fortitude just is not enough to handle this any longer. Let's talk for a moment about Psychroma. Oh boy, it's a psychological adventure. I didn't realize that an hour already passed by when I was playing this, and I must say it's very, very thrilling. It's very, very cool. The visual style is very striking and very distinct, to say the least. It's very easy to... It really sticks in my mind very, very effectively. And the story feels very scatterbrained in a good way, because that's certainly the way that the game's supposed to convey the feeling, and that definitely comes through here. It feels very much like the person that we are playing as, and that it just like is conveyed so well that they have also lost their memories, and that comes through in the gameplay experience as well. That kind of whole in medias res thing, where we don't know about the character and they don't know about themselves, and we have to explore their past and current present day moment together and figure out what the hell's going on. It's very cool. I very much enjoyed it. I am very happy about this game. This looks very cool. Now the annoying thing is that I'm gonna have to stop here because I feel like I kind of want to play through this in one sitting completely, but hey, that's the way that this goes. Still, enjoyed it quite a bit. It's very cool, very unique. There we go. It worked immediately. Good. Okay. So, Souldiers. So far, it seems like a rather basic action platformer RPG kind of thing. I'm sure, I know there is more to the game, but 1 hour preview comes at a cost in this kind of situation. I know there is other things to it. I don't know what exactly, because I haven't spoiled myself too much. I was told that there's gonna be something a bit special to it. And so far, in this 1 hour, about 1 hour, there was nothing exactly too much here. There's some fun little Metroidvania elements. The characters, I love the pixel art, is so good. It really does feel like a fantasy version of Metal Slug in the best possible. That's a very high compliment. It feels so alive in a bit of a fun way, like detailed, and everything's moving and everything's just like not too much movement, but like so that everything looks quite nice. Now I do kind of dislike that we started off in a spider cave because I personally don't enjoy spiders all that much. So, but yeah, generally speaking, that was actually pretty nice. The controls are a bit weird. Like, the character has a surprising amount of momentum that they carry, but they don't speed up that much. So I just feel like they are a bit slow, and that is a bit weird. Like, I've gotten used to like far faster movement in my Metroidvania, so that kind of makes this kind of comparison a bit strange here. Other than that, the controls were very, very solid and fluid and intuitive and smooth, and the game didn't introduce too many concepts, and I actually feel like it could have used a faster start. That is something that I kind of do want to give negative feedback, that it did start out very slowly. Now I could have of course been skipping a lot more. I didn't need to know the basic controls and stuff like that because they were quite intuitive in my mind, but still, at least they are there. It's good to have them there. It's always good to have basic controls because some people might not know them. Every video game is someone's first video game, so I'm not complaining about that. But generally speaking, it didn't show off anything like a special selling point so far, and that's like, I have nothing exactly like huge to criticize, but like, there's nothing to like give huge critique on, except maybe the weight of the movement, kinda. There's like a lot of momentum, but that also isn't like strictly bad, it's just a different feeling. But I don't have anything like exceptional to like, there's not a huge thing here to like give us a selling point. Like, yeah, the pixel art is nice. Visually, the game is really good. But that just doesn't sell the game for me. Not anymore. I don't know, it's unfortunate. Not that there's anything bad, it's just, it's missing like a critical hook that sells it to me. So, yeah. There we go. The Last Campfire. So, what to say about this game? What to say that isn't inherently immediately obvious? So, of course, I found the game to be incredibly adorable. Like, very, very cute. I really enjoyed the narrator. Their voice was very lovely, and I think it fit the mood very, very well. Generally, it feels like a fun little adventure puzzle game, and that's really cool. I really like it. It is visually, it seems very distinct and has a sort of a how to describe it, like a old like a fairy tale mood to it, where you're just like an innocent child, kind of exploring the world, kind of in not like literally, but in a sort of metaphorical sense, and that's how it feels. That is the mood that the game conveys, and my god, it conveys it very, very well. And I personally found it very, very enjoyable and adorable, and all of it just fit in so well. I really like that the main character also is quite like doesn't have a audible voice, but we are clearly not a fully silent protagonist. But just in general, it feels like a storybook come to life, but in a more not from the visuals per se, but because of the mood that it conveys. And I found it extremely cute and extremely fun. So, I really liked it. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. I really liked it. So yeah, there was a lot of games. But for now, I am very happy with how this has turned out. So, I am kind of getting back in the groove of streaming more regularly, and this kind of workflow kind of works well for me, and I think I'll be able to include more like doing games or other streams or other videos more in the future. Now, I don't know exactly what the future will bring. Probably rather soon, a lot of my streams will concentrate on singular games. Like the Let's Plays will be moving to streaming more, rather than doing Let's Plays. So that's a minor difference there. But, you know, I'm gonna let all y'all know when that happens. For now, I thank you very much for your patience. I thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the future. Have a great day and stay awesome. Genmu out.